Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching yet another video, and I hope you enjoyed the previous videos. Today's topic is one that came about when I was going for not my routine checkup but a checkup because I was feeling sick. And so something happened while I was there, and it made me to think about this topic, or it gave me the idea to speak on this topic. And the topic is I hate clinic checkups and I hate taking the medication. And this is particularly something that I know a lot of us struggle with when we first get the diagnosis, and we're frustrated and everything is just too much. But particularly these two areas are the ones that are heavy. And so I was having a conversation with someone, and the person was saying how they just hate being in the clinic, period. They said that being in the clinic makes them feel sick, you know. So my response, I'm a pretty I'm a pretty critical person, so my response was not that good. Looking back, my response was not that good. I was honestly irritated that the person even said that. I was annoyed that they even said that. And I thought about it for some time, and it dawned on me that I went through the same process. Man, when I first got my diagnosis, I was in over my head with everything, and I had zero to somewhat of a support because no one knew exactly what was going on with me. So I basically had no support. Let me just say that I had no support. And so everything was just too much. And the most difficult things that I found to be just heavy for me was just the medication and the fact that I had to be at the clinic. Okay. And so I remember for me it was different because I was mad paranoid. I was always paranoid. Like, I would get a flu and I would be running to the clinic, like, y'all need to check me. Something is going on with me and I don't understand what's going on with me. And when I get there, they just do routine checkups and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. And then next week, I'll be coming back again. The other week, I'll be coming back again for another issue. And so I really, really had a hard time being at the clinic because now I was convinced that something was wrong with me, and they were insisting that you are just fine. So I felt like they were not taking my concerns seriously until at a later date, I spoke to a doctor who was also, I think she is also a bit knowledgeable about psychology and all those things, and she asked me questions that were just good enough to allow me to see that my issue, it was not something that was physical, but my issue was psychological. I needed to go and speak to someone until I get to a point where I am emotionally stable to just walk on the journey by myself. Yeah, so speaking on hating the medication, hating the medication is okay. No one wants to take 5 or 10 pills a day. Unfortunately, if you find yourself in this situation, medication is something you're going to have to deal with. I was listening to this podcast, and it kept popping up on my channel, and I didn't understand because I had seen it before, but I was asking myself, why is this popping up on my channel so much? And I eventually downloaded the video and I watched it, and they were talking about how do you handle tasks that you don't want to do. And so they were speaking about just the fact that as a person, work will always be work. You cannot enjoy work no matter how people can glorify how they love something to the point that they enjoy it. But there would be times when you're tired, there would be times when you don't even feel like doing the work. But how do you handle those times when you don't feel like doing something? Do you just get annoyed with the task, get irritated by the task to a point where you don't do the task at all, and then at a later date regret the fact that you did not do what you had to do? Or do you push through your feelings and do what you have to do, and then thank yourself later for doing the task even though you didn't feel like doing it? You know, and so I imagine I imagine taking your pills in the same sense, because in the beginning you get a lot of pills. I think they give you like 3 or 4, depending on how your viral load is going and all the other things that they look at. But at the end of the day, you have to take all those medication, regardless of how painful it is to take 3 or 4 pills a day. You still have to do it. For me, I used to just push through those moments, because now I'm thanking myself, because it's years later and I don't even think about taking my medication in a way that I thought about it in the beginning. Now it comes naturally, but at that moment I was irritated by the fact that I was taking a lot of medication. I hated medication to begin with. I hated taking medication. No one wants to take pills. Pills are disgusting. A friend of mine says pills pills smell. So I don't know if pills have a smell, but at the end of the day, you have to take those medication regardless of how you feel. Well, it's okay to complain while doing it, but what's not okay is for you to sit around and say, I hate taking medication, and don't take the medication, and you end up at the hospital at months down the line over something that you could have avoided, you know. And so I think it's important to just allow yourself to complain, to feel irritated, or feel whatever you're feeling. But at the same time, you have to do what you have to do in that moment. Don't avoid doing what you have to do because of how you feel. Because feelings are fleeting. You're not going to feel the same way you feel now, next month, or the other month, or the next year, you know. And so you have to do what you have to do. And again, with the feeling about being in the hospital or in a clinic environment, no one wants to be there. But whenever you're sick, you still have to be there, whether you like it or not. And how you feel is a matter of perspective and a matter of, probably something that has happened in your past where it's being in the clinic is a traumatic experience for you. Someone died while you were there, or, you know, whatever has happened that has made you to react the way you're reacting. But then you must try to overcome those feelings. Do not allow yourself to say, I feel this way, therefore I must stay away from this. That's not how you should handle the situation, but you should handle it by facing those fears, or facing the anxiety, and getting through it in order for you to comfortably be in that environment. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to be in the environment for the rest of your life. I remember when I first got diagnosed, I had a certain doctor, no, a nurse, and she could see that I was not really taking this well. So she was trying to lighten my mood, and she was like, you know what? Us people with chronic diseases should link up. I'm like, what? She's like, I mean, taking the medication is really not that bad. I mean, think about it. I have, she was talking about herself. I have, I think she says she had sugar diabetes or high blood pressure. I don't remember properly. And she was like, so it's just another chronic disease, like HIV is not that bad. It's just another chronic disease. And as chronic disease people will have to take medications for the rest of our lives. Big deal. And at that time, I was kind of offended, forgetting how much dangerous, how much hard it is for people with diabetes. I mean, HIV is bad, but people with diabetes, especially the one that is has progressed to that stage, I don't know which stage that is, where someone cannot eat certain things, their diet has to be strict and all those things, and they only have to get an injection. And you know what, let me not speak out of ignorance about diabetes, but you know, it's really hard for people with diabetes. And at the time, in my small mind, I was offended by what she said. You know, I was like, how dare you even compare the two? At the time, I was still dealing with the fear that I had about, you know, what I had been told before. And I literally thought, you know, my life was gonna end at any moment. And so hearing that made me think that that person was speaking out of ignorance, also forgetting that there is still a medical professional. What the person was trying to do was to just show me that it's just another chronic disease. People have chronic diseases and they have to take medications every day. You know, you don't have to not take your medication just because it's HIV and people are speaking badly about it and people are laughing about it, or people are making fun of it. You know, at the end of the day, it's still a chronic disease that you have to take your medications every day, and that's how you're going to keep it at bay. That's how you're going to take care of yourself and sustain your health, you know. So, I say that to say she was right. It's just another chronic disease where you have to take your medication regularly according to the way that you've been instructed, and you will not have any problems. Of course, there are people who have problems, but generally, you just have to take your medications according to the way that you've been instructed. Don't skip a date. Don't take it at different times every day. Just do what you have to do each and every day, regardless of how you feel. You know, we're still going to have those, you know, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, you know, but you have to. You don't want to, but you have to. You're going to thank yourself later. And regardless of how the situation may look, you know, you feeling like you're losing too much weight, you feeling like you're losing yourself, you can't recognize yourself, you don't look the same anymore, you feeling like, you know, your life is over, you feeling like you don't want to do it, you don't want to live with the disease in your body. At the end of the day, just do it. You'll thank yourself later when you feel different, when you are different or are in a different space, because feelings are fleeting. Like I said before, you're not gonna feel the same way you feel right now, you're not gonna feel the same way you feel now. Next year, you'll be a totally different person who feels different about where you've been. And so don't allow how you feel right now to affect your next year. Make sure you do things that will make you thank yourself later. Anyway, that's all I had for today. Thank you for watching. Please turn on your post notifications so that you're notified every time I post. Subscribe, like, share, and comment if you have any thoughts on this current topic and anything that you've went through that you want to share with others. And let's talk about it. This is an open conversation. It's not just me talking to you, but then you can talk to me as well, and I'll gladly respond. Thank you for watching. Until next time.